KYE Talks. I am your host, Truptha Kolgod Nadkarni. On this digital platform, we speak to entrepreneurs from various fields who tell us why they didn't want the typical 9 to 5, but they wanted to do something unique and something challenging. So my guest today is Dr. Nivedita Srivastava. She is the founder of 9 Links, which is a consulting firm working in the area of organizational development and behavioral assessment through online psychometric tests. These tests are developed by their highly skilled and experienced team. They have an impressive 18 years of experience in this diverse field. So let's find out more from Dr. Nivedita. Hello and welcome to the KYE digital platform. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Trupta. Doing very well. Thank you so much.
So Nivedita, can you please tell us about 9 Links and the motivation behind beginning the same?
Sure, absolutely. So 9 Links is largely an organization which has an expertise in the area of organization development and psychometric assessments.
Correct.
So we have clients, or we work for clients which are largely the corporate sector and also the institutional sector. So, so these tests that we have devised and developed and run for various corporates are largely used either for recruitment purposes or for learning and development purposes. So, depending on what the purpose is, so that's how it's largely used.
So customized according to the different needs.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the name 9 Links is rather very interesting. So can you shed some light on how did you come up with this unique name?
Okay, so that's the question that always pops up during most meetings and even when we do our client meetings. So most of the people often guess it to be find it that, or probably think that it's got to do with the numerological reason, but apparently the major reason behind the number 9 is so we wanted an organization. We as in I'm the founder of the organization, but when I started off with my team and when things were conceptualizing. So the organization had to be a link between 3 main dimensions of the society. One is the corporate sector, the second is the academia, and the third is research. So it's a 3x3 matrix, and it's an organization which connects the 3, so it's an organization which links up all the 3 dimensions or the fragments of the society. So that's where the number 9. And I missed out answering on the previous question as to what motivated me to be an entrepreneur. So the answer to it is that, often people come up to me and say that it's so nice of you to be an entrepreneur. You are your own boss. So eventually that's the worst, or that's the last reason why anybody should be an entrepreneur, because along with a lot of independence and freedoms comes a lot of responsibility. So when you start up and when you venture out, so, there's a whole, so one of my friends, actually, we kind of joked around and we said that, being an entrepreneur is more like being a C2C. So the full form of being a C2C is chairman to chaprasi. So apparently you do everything, right from being a chairman to the organization and being an office boy to the organization as well. So yes, something that motivated me was most of these psychometric tools that we used, during our graduation, or even when I was practicing psychometrics as a consultant before bringing up with 9 Links. These tools, or psychometric tests as we popularly call them, were largely developed abroad in the Western countries. Okay. And somehow there was always a gap, that the correlation of these tests with the Indian industry was somehow lacking. So there was always a scope for developing something that was more local, something, that was more indigenous, and bringing back to the corporate something that was more, relatable for them. Right. So, when you actually start believing in your own service or your product, so of course you really want to do all about, and you want to, go about it to do everything for it.
Absolutely.
So that's one. Yeah.
Amazing. And like you said, C2C, I've only heard of B2B, but now C2C is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so like a check. I mean, the word chaprasi is, it's no more used now, but what it meant to be, you are the office boy of the, you do your daily
right. When it comes to that, you have to do everything. So,
yeah.
So, can you give me some example of like psychometric tests? Like, what exactly consists of those, tests?
Yeah, so while I've been doing a lot of these webinars through this work from home setting on psychometric assessment for various organizations, so most popularly people refer to it, or people see it as only personality assessment.
Okay.
Wherein you want to know about your personality. But psychometric assessments is primarily a theory, or or a way of assessing anything. So that is related to your mind and your heart. So it could be even your intelligence. It could be somebody's aptitude, which is most popularly known, used among school students to find out their career interests. It could be an interest test. It could be used for, of course, personality and behavioral assessment. But there could be multiple, or even your ability tests are a part of psychometric assessments.
Right.
So it's primarily a way in which any test is developed and designed to understand somebody's abilities, personality, or behavior. That is psychometric assessments.
Okay. Yeah. Nice, very nice, very neat. So, what is it about this field that gives you like a sense of accomplishment, or a kick in common terms, where I'm so glad I chose this.
Okay. Sure. So, I have always realized that I'm more like a people's person, and I was always very, even during, if I go back to early college days, I loved being with people. So, and something that really intrigued me or kind of motivated me, that why not help organizations understand people better, in a much more scientific way. So, because largely most organizations, if you look at it, if you could look into organizations hiring these days, or not now, but maybe if you go a decade back, they would largely rely on an interview, or or a face-to-face interaction with somebody, and they would primarily either accept him or reject him on the basis of maybe a 30 minutes or at best a 40 minutes interview, right? But there's a lot of subjectivity, or a personal bias that comes inside it. And eventually there's a lot of people tend to fail to understand what people would actually be. So that's where psychometric assessments as a field in itself is always very interesting to me. And I really went about and did everything to ensure that. So that's one of the missions of Ninelinks during this COVID times, is to kind of venture out, be all about and to talk to people about psychometric assessment and how it could help organizations and individuals to understand themselves and others as well.
Right. So I'm sure when people give you a positive feedback, it's like, wow, I know, like, I'm really helping people and making a difference. So sure,
yeah,
very good. So
yeah.
Great. So, like any new venture, when you're an entrepreneur on this journey, you come across obstacles and challenges or barriers. You can choose to call it any name. So during your journey, what were some of the barriers that you had to break, or, some of the challenges you faced?
So, okay. So for a lot of my working life, if I actually have to remember, I have always been a consultant. So for some years, I was working under a different organization, in a different organization as a consultant. For some other years, I was working as a freelance consultant. But yes, some of the barriers that, or rather some of the, obstacles that I faced was, I come from a family which is which is full of, people who are service oriented, or they, amongst all my brother, cousins and siblings and, parents. So most of them were, service class people, so people who really did jobs. So yes, venturing out and, going about developing a brand of your own was something that wasn't an obstacle, but yes, something that was definitely, it took a lot to think through and actually decide that, yes, I want to do something about it.
Correct.
And professionally, it turned out to be that, because when I had spoken to you earlier as well, that most of the tools that we used to work with were developed abroad. So we really didn't have a lot of, tools to look at as a benchmark. Correct. In the Indian scenario. Yeah. So we really had to get into a lot of research and try and understand as to what will work and what will not work. Mm-hmm. So that was something which actually, which involved a lot of research in the initial years, and to, bring about and having confidence of our clients to, and tell them that, yes, this is what you should be looking at, because, the intensity with which it has been developed is really worth looking at.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's
Sure.
really awesome because the C2C keeps coming back to me because, you know, you didn't just stop and say, "Okay, this is what I have to do. I have to do like from point A all the way to Z. Like I have to, you know, cover."
Absolutely. I mean, you probably wear multiple hats on the same day. So it's not even during the week, but it's on the same day you wear multiple hats.
And you know,
You also work as an errand boy or an errand woman, person to do your, menial jobs as well.
I wanted to ask you, like, at this point, what is needed to take 9links ahead, you know, like to reach your goals, so to speak, to the next level?
Okay, so something that's very important and which is beyond our controls is we definitely want the COVID-19 to go away as soon as, possible. So I think that will bring respite to many of us. And apparently, I think something that I think is most important for any organization, whether it's 9links or any budding entrepreneur, is their digital presence. Yeah. So what I've realized during this journey of we are completing almost 4 years this December. So what I've realized that even if you have a large sales and marketing team, but if your digital presence isn't up to the mark, so then you lose out on a lot of opportunities. Yeah. So once digital presence in the current era is most important. So even if you don't publish an ad in a newspaper, but if you're not there on LinkedIn, Insta or, other digital mediums, then, or if your website isn't very, up to the mark, then of course that's something that is missing out. So I think digital marketing is something that's very important for any organization, even if it's a small, an out of home business, if somebody's running that, even then you have to be there digitally.
Very true. Coming to my next question, how did this venture change you? What were some of the changes it brought about in you?
Okay, on a personal level, I think I've become much better at negotiation, which I wasn't there. I've become a hardcore negotiator because so that's a skill that I've learned on a personal level. And of course, much more, I think, yes, that's one of the changes that have happened on a personal level. On the professional level, I think my decision-making skills have improved tremendously as an entrepreneur. And, thinking logically has improved drastically. So earlier, probably, as a person, I would make a lot of decisions emotionally. But now I think I tend to make a decision which is a balance of being logical and emotional. Right. So on a personal front as well. So I think the entrepreneur journey has definitely changed me in that perspective. Yeah.
Absolutely, in a positive way, and really awesome indeed. So, I did want to ask you that what would you like to say to the budding and upcoming entrepreneurs? Like most of the time they feel like, they want to do something and go out, but there are so many factors that can hold them back, or they're just not confident enough. So can you share some words of wisdom or advice with the budding and upcoming entrepreneurs?
Sure. So if you go back to the first question that you had asked me, so one of the first advice is that if you think that you want to take up the entrepreneurial journey, or you want to venture out, or you want to start up because you want to be your own boss, so that should be the last reason to get into a world of entrepreneurship. That shouldn't be that. Unless you have an idea which is like completely striking out of the world, or even if you don't have an idea, but if you have a different way of doing it, I think that's the right time to kind of venture out, when you think that yes, you can, maybe it's an old product, or even if it's an old service. So even if we refer to it as from the 9links perspective, psychometrics is not a new word. It's been there, in the industry for such a long time. But yes, what we created, the niche that we created about is that one, it was more indigenous. It was something that was more conducive to the Indian market. And also the other segment that we brought about was that earlier psychometric assessments was largely for the managerial and leadership. Okay. We also work for the blue collar workforce. Okay. So that is the niche that we created. Right. So even if it's an old product, but you have something which can create a niche about an existing product, so that's when you should venture out.
Right.
And I would not rather suggest freshers to take up the entrepreneur journey right after college,
Okay.
because there has to be some amount of experience of working under somebody else, of taking somebody else's pressure. And I think then if you can face that music, I think the journey of entrepreneurship becomes much more smoother.
Absolutely.
So you really can withstand anything if you can work for somebody else and succeed there. Then of course the entrepreneur journey becomes smoother.
Absolutely.
So I think students especially, they should take some time and work for someone else, some experience, and then maybe take up the entrepreneur journey.
Absolutely. And so well said, because they shouldn't think it's instant gratification. I go and it's going to happen.
Oh no.
So just take your time.
That's a pass.
Exactly. Work under someone and get good experience. And
absolutely, face that embarrassment, face that pressure, and then I think things become much more better.
Right.
So that's.
And say it in your words, be ready to be your C2C, because that is what is going to
of course.
That's what is going to take you
Sure.
a long way.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for being on the KY Digital platform. It was really nice speaking to you.
It's a pleasure, Durga.
Links all the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. Bye.